हरिः ॐ शन्नो मित्रस्यं वरुणः शं नो भवत्वर्यमा शं न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शं नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. So from today onwards I am going to explain to you the spiritual astrology second level from lesson 28 up to 28. I think I have sent you the explanations. I am not sure about it, but from today I am planning in such a way, though you did not follow the previous lessons continuously, or those who did not follow the first level, so don't worry about that. I am trying to explain in such a way to make you understand the principles of astrology and the principles of spiritual astrology and the purpose of spiritual astrology in an order. Okay? So try to follow the explanations very keenly, and then you will be able to try to assimilate the science of spiritual astrology. I will try to explain in simple points, not like a continuous lecture. I will explain you in simple points so that you will understand very easily. This is the explanation given by the master about spiritual astrology in the book Astrology, an Occult and Spiritual Perception. This is the textbook of our second level of spiritual astrology course. Okay. The word spiritual means something belong to the spirit. Astrology means the science of light. These two simple sentences. The word spiritual means something about belonging to the spirit. It is so simple. Astrology means the science of light. That's it. The science of light is the meaning of the astrology in the symbolical way or the technical way, whatever it may be. But according to the definitions of the scriptures, it is the science of light in its true sense. Astrology is the science of light. But the problem is, till today, we do not know exactly what light is. Till today, this was a lecture given by the master in 81, 82, 83. Now we are in 2022. Even till today, even in the 22nd, 2022 also, we do not know exactly what light is. Not only we, even the scientists also, the great scientists also, they know about the light up to some extent only, not to the full extent, according to the ancient scriptures. Okay. The scientists are speculating about the question of what light is. Is it a matter? Is it a force? It has not yet been discovered. The light is it a force or matter? It is not yet discovered completely. They are on the way to understand the meaning of the light. What master is telling here, light is a degree of consciousness. Light is a degree of consciousness. This is the final definition of the light. The problem now, the scientists know about the force, about the matter, and about the space. Even about the space also, it is only up to some extent, not fully, they don't know fully about the space so far. They are trying to go deep and deep into the laws of the space and the nature of the space, and they are trying to understand it. One day, definitely they will understand it. It is sure. But till now, till date, they are not sure about the light. But our ancestors are telling it, light is a degree of consciousness. So, even as a spiritualist or occultist, we are supposed to understand what consciousness is. Unless we enter into the consciousness, we cannot go into the real depth of the spirituality or yoga. Okay. The next lesson is, by the term light, we know that which illumines our eye. This is, everybody knows it. The light means which illumines our eye. Because of the light only, our eye is able to see anything in this world. It is simple. We also have another light. Master is explaining about the another light which illumines our mind. All of us, we know about the light which illumines our eye. We know all of that. But the second form of the light is, another light is which illumines our mind. This is much more important of the light. The next level of light. From the matter to the fourth side. It illumines the energy side, the consciousness side. It illumines the mind also. We can call this it mental light. The first one is the optic light and the second one is the mental light. There is also another expansion of consciousness which makes us understand things, which makes our consciousness expand into relatively higher degrees. There is another light which is responsible for the expansion of the consciousness into the another degree of light. This is the another light. So, to the higher degrees, related to the higher degrees, expansion into the higher degrees, this is the another light. The ancients meant all these levels of consciousness when they used the term light. The ancients, when they used the term light, they used it for these, in these three levels, in these 3 degrees. Not just they used not just for only the optic light, which illumines our eye. They used the word term light in all these degrees. They described the existence of the science of light and they call it astrology. That is what we are interested, what we are supposed to understand about the spiritual astrology. They described the existence of the science of light. They call it astrology. So they call the science of light as astrology. That is spiritual astrology, what we are going through. Okay. Then coming to the 31st lesson. At the beginning there were only 7 known planets by man, and then they came up with 9 planets, followed by 12 planets. Okay. First of all, there are 7 planets the man discovered. Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn. Right? After that, he also found the importance of the 2 nodal points, the north node and the south node, in Sanskrit, Rahu and Ketu. And they are not the physical planets, they are the nodal points. Okay. So he came to know about the 9 planets. After that, he came to know about the 12 planets. Apart from this 9, if you add Uranus, Neptune and Pluto, altogether they have become 12. There was a time, according to the scriptures, when man was familiar with 33 planets. But whatever it may be, the signs of the zodiac and the planets are given by us, by nature, as the keyboard of a typewriter or the keyboard of an advanced computer machine. It is for us to undergo proper training to make use of the available data. So, there are the times when people, when we understood about when we discovered the 33 planets. You will find about these 33 planets, of course not in detail. In esoteric astrology, Master Alice Bailey, he mentioned about the 33 planets in esoteric astrology. I will tell you one interesting thing. Even Neptune and Jupiter and Pluto, we generally feel they are discovered very late. But there is a book in India, I did not remember the name of the book very clearly. And it is about the book of ancient astrology. And so many Indian astrologers also, they are not aware of this book. I am sure. I read this book some 30 or 40 years back. So interestingly, and strangely, that gentleman who wrote the book is an Indian. He mentioned about Pluto, he mentioned about Uranus and Neptune and Pluto at the time of Lord Sri Krishna's time, at the time of the war between the Pandavas and Kauravas, where Sri Krishna was a witness. He has given the equivalent names, Sanskrit names of Pluto, Neptune and Uranus, what they used at the time of Mahabharata war. It is almost 5,200 years back. What he said, even then also our ancestors, they found these planets, but they did not mention the influence of these three planets in the predictive astrology. But the ancient Indians also, they know about these three planets, what he mentioned. It is very interesting. So whatever it may be, what Master is telling here, whatever it may be, the sign of the zodiac and the planets are given to us by nature as the keyboard of a typewriter. All the names, all the properties, the qualities, or whatever it may be, they are like of the signs, the 12 signs and the planets, the 7 earth, 9 earth, 12, whatever it may be. The planet, they are formed like as a keyboard in us. And we should know how to operate them. That is in our hands. That is what Master explained in the 31st lesson. Then we go to the most important lesson. The key is in your hands. That is the title what I have put to this chapter. The key is in your hands. Generally, when we are going or following a master, in general, when we develop a faith or a submission or a belief on any master or any God, generally what we feel, everything is in his hands and he will guide us, he will protect us, he will initiate us. And of course it is true, but knowingly or unknowingly, we feel that he will take care of us. Then what we will do? That is the problem. So if this question arises, then if we feel we can tackle everything, we can deal with everything, we can solve everything, sometimes it leads to the ego problem. If we develop a sense of dependability in the name of submission or surrenderance or faith or love, whatever it may be, it leads to the dependency. You understand what I am telling? So, here we have to travel between these two different types of understandings. Master Ike has given a wonderful example about this. Every one of us, we have to remember this example in every corner of our life, in every part of our life, in every incident of our life. What Master says, human effort and divine blessing, two things are there. The human effort means God has given us the mind, the intellect, the power, the intelligence, the discrimination. He has provided everything to us to understand the world, to live a life in a beautiful way, with a good judgment, with a good discrimination. And the human body or human intelligence or whatever it may be, the nature, everything is created by the God. And the God the God created the man in his own image. That's the statement. The God created the man in his own image means he provided everything to the human being, and it is to the human being to live according to that principle, realizing as I am. Right? But what we do everything except realizing ourselves as I am. We generally live as a mind, or following the temptations of the five senses, or living with the mind, the worrying mind and a tricky mind. We never realize ourselves as I am. That is the purpose of the human evolution. Right? Second is the divine blessing. How these two works, I will tell you. Suppose if a farmer want to cultivate or grow the rice or whatever, the wheat or whatever it may be, what is the duty of the farmer? Before the rain comes, before the season comes, he has to prepare, he has to procure the seeds, whether the wheat or the rice or the fruits, whatever it may be. He has to procure the seeds and keep them ready and cultivate the land, prepare the land for the cultivation, removing all the unnecessary stuff, whatever is there in the field, and prepare everything and wait for the rain. Whether it rains or not, whether rain is coming or not, it is not in anybody's hand. It has to come on its own. Even sometimes you cannot get the rain in the rainy season. You understand? Human effort is like preparing the seeds, procuring the seeds, preparing the land, and take out all the unnecessary stuff and preparing the land, and he has to wait for the rain. Then the rain comes. What Master E.K. says, this rain is like the blessing of the God. So, even though rain is there, if there are no seeds with us, the land is not prepared properly, what the use? Even the blessing is there in the form of rain, what the use? The next thing is, everything is prepared. If there is no rain, what the farmer will do? If there is no water, what the farmer will do? So this is how we have to travel between the human effort and the divine grace. So here, Master is telling the key is in your hands means you have to create your own destiny by your own willpower, by your own discrimination. This is what Master wanted to tell us. He will explain us beautifully in the next lesson. Then the next lesson I will try to explain to you. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.